All right, hello everyone watching and potentially some of our existing lawn clients watching this. This is our Skag AeroStorm aerator, and it has a drop spreader in the front. So we're going to be offering this as a service this year, aerating the property. As you can see here, we only did a couple strips, but we have it set at 2.5 inches. It's going to pull out a 2.5-inch plug, as you can see here. Pull plug cores right out of the ground, and these plugs are going to be left behind, and they're just going to break down over the next month or so. We have two options. Basically, we can just come core aerate your property, just like this, which there's many benefits. We'll get to that in about a second. But it also has the spreader attachment on the front, so we can overseed while we're aerating, which also has its benefits. We're not aerating and then seeding 2 separate days or 2 separate times. This is dropping the seed directly into the plugs and into the area that we're aerating all at one shot. And no, seeding's not necessary. It's an add-on service, but it's highly recommended to seed while you're aerating. So the rule of thumb is 2 to 3 inches on the plug, how much we want to pull out of your property. It all depends on soil conditions. If you have a really nice, it's got nice topsoil, not many rocks, we can maybe get 3.5, maybe 4 inches for the plugs to come out. But rule of thumb is 2 to 2.5 inches, give or take. Especially up here in North Jersey, it's a lot of rocky soil and everything. We can only take out so much. But this is what a 2.5-inch plug looks like, and these past 2 strips had grass seed installed while we were aerating it. So you're probably wondering, why should I aerate? Or maybe you've never heard of it, or maybe you're thinking about, oh, my neighbor aerates, maybe his lawn's greener than mine looks like crap. It's not going to solve all the weed problems. Like my property here has some weeds in it, but the benefits of aerating, we'll just run down the list real quick. We're going to make this video short and sweet of why you should aerate, specifically in the fall, almost every year, and why springtime is also a good time to do it as well. Your lawn goes through 2.5 to 3 months of heat, very hot, 90 degrees, 100 degrees, very hot. And if it doesn't rain, your lawn is stressed out. It's tired. It needs some rejuvenation going into the winter months, like the fall months when it's a bunch cooler out. So September is the perfect month to do aerating. Some people do it in the spring, some people do it in the fall. Aerating can be done at either time, but the best time for the seeding is in the fall while we're aerating. September starts to cool off. August can be blazing hot. That's why nobody aerates in the month of June, July, or August. But it starts to cool down at night in September. The temperatures are going down, and the weeds are starting to die. I said my yard has a couple weeds, but we just moved in here, but just bear with me. The yard is mostly weeds. So weeds like clover and crabgrass, all that stuff is going to start to die out in the month of September, which is a perfect time to introduce new seed to your property, because the seed will not have to compete with all these weeds as if you were seeding it in June, July, August, even late May. It's going to have competition with the weeds, and unfortunately the weeds are going to win if you do it at that time frame. I mean, the list of benefits for aerating is about this long. We're just going to run through it real quick. Number one, it's pulling this plug out, so it's relieving compaction in the soil. Think about your soil goes through, if you've never done aerating or dethatching, highly recommend it, because your lawn gets very compacted. It depends on how much rain we had in the year. Sometimes we get a ton of rain, and it overfloods your property, and sometimes we don't get any rain, so it's just the soil's very compact, it's hard. This is going to be pulling out plugs, leaving them behind. No need to clean the plugs up, because the plugs is just dirt. It's going to dry out in a couple weeks and literally just break down and go right back into your soil. But pulling the plugs out of the soil is going to relieve compaction, which roots do not like to grow in compacted soil. That's why weeds take over, because sometimes you'll see weeds just growing in driveways, right on top of stuff, right on top of anything. Weeds can grow anywhere. Grass, specifically new grass seeds, their roots are very delicate and they're not mature. They need a good soil so they can set and grow and come back next year and be even stronger, even greener, and even healthier. Number two, it's going to allow air, water, and nutrients down into your soil just by simply pulling these plugs out of the ground. I mean, look at the opening we have there. And these, I don't know, 2 inches between each one, 3 inches. And this is going to be throughout your entire yard. So this is going to be very easy for the air to get down into your soil, because think your soil's compacted. The water might run right off of it. It might not be able to go deep enough where these roots need to grow for the seedlings, for the new grass. And if the water can't get down, the roots are only going to grow so far, and they're just going to dry out, and you're going to end up having to redo your lawn at some point, or it's just going to be a yard full of weeds. Your existing property could thicken up a little bit and grow a little healthier before it goes dormant for the winter time, and be a nice dependable lawn for next summer. You don't want to be having a party and have a burnt out lawn because the previous year we had a drought, or we had too much rain, or it was too hot. So this is just an easy, not the most expensive way to correct your lawn in the fall going into the cooler months. This is the machine that we have here, just a stand-on Skag AeroStorm aerator. It's just going to pull plugs out. Like we said, we're going to adjust the depth of the plug that we're pulling depending on condition of your soil. And yeah, grass seed is very, very expensive. So what we're going to charge you guys for overseeding process, even though we're seeding while we're aerating, which is a good benefit of having this machine because it does 2-in-1. The good bulk of that price we give you for the seeding is the cost of the seed. We're just selling the service of aerating. Overseeding is an add-on, and grass seed went up by like 200% in the past year or two since COVID hit. So we're going to get you on the seed price, but that's not us, that's the suppliers, and that's just the price of the seed itself. Now, what's the difference between, you might be asking, well, why can't I just rent the tow behind aerator myself and do it on my own property? You can, it's just the aerators, they don't go deep enough. They might say, you have a tow behind aerator, you might only pull out a plug this big, and that's really not gonna, it's not gonna improve the health of your property. Or it might pull a plug this big. You need at least 2 inches as a minimum, 2.5. We'll try and get 4 inches if we can. It just depends on the condition of the soil and the rocky subbase and everything like that. Just a couple things, clients, that we are not responsible for. You can see we put some red flags out just so we know. There's no irrigation system on this property, but there are septic service caps, so they need to be marked. Yeah, they're only $3 or $4 to replace, but it would be to your benefit and our benefit if those could just be marked if you know where they are. Because think, if they're only 2 inches under the ground, we're pulling a 3-inch plug out, chances that plastic cap might get hit with the aerating tines. It's no big deal to replace, but make sure those are marked. Also, irrigation systems. We are aerating a lot of clients' properties, and we don't know where every single sprinkler head is. From lawn maintenance, we know where pretty much most of them are, but there might be some that are hidden under the ground that the client knows where they are. We ask very kindly that you stick a red flag, a snowplow stake, something just marking to let us know that there's something there, and we won't go within a couple feet of that area. Irrigation lines typically are 5 to 6 inches underground, under the frost line, because of once it gets cold in the winter. They don't set irrigation lines, say 2 inches under the ground. They're under there a good 5-6 inches. Anything else to look out for? I mean, dog electrical fences are usually around perimeters, but just give us a heads up. Hey, we have an underground wire for our dog. It goes around the property this way. It might cut through the middle here. Just let us know that there's a spot. We're not asking to go out and spray paint your entire property because we service your guys' properties, so we know pretty much where every obstacle is. And any other things you guys want to throw in there. Maybe there might be one rock underneath the ground that you know is there but has been covered in dirt, and we don't hit it with the lawnmower, but we might tap it with the new machine here. So basically just, it's on the client to mark the underground service caps for the septic. Septic caps themselves sometimes are only a couple inches under the ground, and irrigation lines. And anything else, if we hit a root or something, that's our fault. It's no big deal. Pretty much that's it. We went over the benefits of why you should aerate. Fall's the perfect time. We already said that, but you can also do it in the springtime right before the season hits. It will relieve compaction depending if we had a lot of snow or not. Sometimes we get 3 feet of snow in one storm. Sometimes the snow is 5-6 feet in piles up here in North Jersey. So the soil's compacted. Once all the snow melts, it goes down into the grass and it just gets more and more compacted. So you could really benefit from an aerating in the springtime. Overseeding depends on your property. If your property is beautiful, no weeds whatsoever, let's overseed it in the spring as well. But if you're got patchy weeds throughout your property that you know comes up every year, maybe have a fertilizer guy or a pesticide person come check out the weeds and take care of that. But we just don't want to waste your money is what we're getting at for the springtime. It's the fall. We're selling this service for the fall and the spring, but we don't want to waste your money overseeding in the spring. Aerating's perfect for both seasons, but we don't want to dump a couple $100s in seed, say in the month of April, if the weeds are going to take it right over, if you have a very, very weedy lawn. But aerating will help eliminate some of those weeds in the spring, but specifically in the fall. September is the prime month to do it because you have the whole month of September for this seed to grow. Month of October is a good month to grow grass too, and even some of November doesn't get below freezing. So you have a good 2.5 months for these new seedlings to take root, grow good enough, grow deep enough so they can go dormant, take off for the winter, and next spring the new grass seed is going to come up. Your grass is going to be off to a great start the following season. If you're interested in this service, you can reach out to our phone number, which is on the trucks. You guys, if your clients watching this, we really appreciate you guys, first off, being our clients. But you have our phone number. You can call, text us, send us a message on Facebook, or email, ziggyslawnlandscape@gmail.com. Probably the easiest way is to shoot us an email, because we are going to be shooting you an estimate for the pricing for these two different services, for the actual aeration and the actual overseeding. We're going to send it right back to you through email, so maybe it's best if you shoot us an email or a text. Phone calls are fine too. It might take us a day or two to get back to you, but email is the preferred method. I mean, if you're a YouTuber and you've been following our channel, this video is also for you and how this can benefit. You can possibly have this as a service for your business to offer to your clients. You saw us do a couple strips. Why don't we just finish? Yeah. We'll finish the rest of the lawn, and we're gonna change it here from 2.5. I'm gonna jump it right up to 3.5, and you can walk around, right, Jim, and just show the different size plugs. And like I said already too, you don't have to come out here. You don't have to hire us to rake all these plugs up and blow them all off and clean it. It's literally gonna dry out in a few days to maybe a week, like that, and it's just gonna turn back into the soil. So without further ado, let's get to it. Let's drop some more seed down, and let's get this property taken care of. So we'll just show you two more things. This was a 3.5-inch plug, which is great. The more the better. The more substantial plug you can get out, the more it's going to benefit your property. I said this maybe possibly, but we said this already, but we're dropping the seed into the plugs and also into the soil that is freshly aerating. So we're guaranteeing that this seed is going into the soil. We're not driving it into the actual soil, but it's going in these holes. Drop down. It's not a broadcast spreader where we're spreading it outwards. It's dropping it. It's a drop spreader. It's dropping it directly on the 30-inch width of where we're aerating. You're getting 2 for 1. I just thought of something cool. Here's a septic cap, just to show the clients what will happen if we hit it with the aerator. If they decide not to mark it, which it's going to be on the estimate that we are not responsible for white service caps like this. Or for irrigation lines and irrigation heads, etc. I'm going to run this over because it was only $3 and I have one in the garage. I'll put a new one right on. We'll just show you what it does and actually how easy it is to fix, if you want to throw this in the video. Yeah. Because you might be thinking, oh, I have that one white cap out there somewhere. We don't want you to turn the service down just because there's one cap. It's a very straightforward fix, and it's bound to happen if it's not marked. Specifically, if you don't know about it, you just moved into the property. And this isn't just for our own clients. This is for anyone watching this video. If you're in North Jersey, reach out to us, see if we service your area for aeration, anything landscaping related, retaining walls. We're coming up with leaf cleanups. We're still doing pavers, but anything you guys need, give us a call. Let me just pop it real quick. Yeah. It's funny, it didn't even break it. It just hit it. Yeah. Because most of them are very strong, but sometimes they're very old. This is only a couple months old. It put a dimple right in it, but it didn't break it. But just to show how easy those are to take on and replace. That's going to wrap it up from us. This is mostly directed towards our clients to show the benefits, to show what the actual aeration process looks like. Just so we don't send you a price you might never even heard of aerating. We don't want to send you a price for something you don't know about. We wanted to educate our clients, and then you guys can make the decision if you want to sign up for this service or not. Maybe it's this year, maybe it's next year, maybe it's next fall, but this is what aerating a property looks like. You might look from afar and say, did you guys do anything? Yes. We pulled 2.5 to 3.5 inch plug out of the ground, and depending if you signed up, we drop seeded it with a mixture. We don't use one type of seed because sometimes your property might be Kentucky bluegrass, it might be a fine fescue, it might be a tall fescue, it might be Bermuda grass. We use a seed that has every single seed in it for our area, for our zone here up in North Jersey. Whatever seed doesn't take, maybe 3 seeds, maybe your property's made up of 3 different types of grasses. The seed's gonna have 5 to 6 different types, so those 3 that die off, the 3 that your existing lawn will take. So that's just a side note on that as well. But that'll wrap this video up. It was just a quick little video just to show our actual stand-on aerator that we will be bringing to your guys' properties, to show our YouTube subscribers the new piece of equipment we have and how beneficial it is to your business, to our business, and just trying to help everyone out. And once again, just reach out to us if you have any questions and if you'd like to get a free estimate today. About the estimate too, like we want to do it through email, because we don't even need to come to your property if you're an existing client to give you a price on aerating. We already have square footage saved in our billing program. Our yard book, our billing program, has a built-in features for pretty much everything, but we can shoot you an estimate in 2 seconds for your property. That'll wrap it up for me. Anything, Jim?
No, that's it.
That's it. But we look forward to hearing from you guys. Throw us down in the comments what you thought about it. Have a good day.